Hello, my name is Mary Rassa, and today I'm going to talk about another one of my programs. This is a short 5-minute discussion about the Cold War Homefront. This program can be conducted either online using Zoom or Google Meet, or it can be conducted for your organization in person. This program lasts 30 to 45 minutes long. In order to understand how I got involved and interested in the Cold War Homefront, my former work location was Sandy Hook, New Jersey, which was part of the Nike missile system. From 1954 to 1974, there were Nike missiles defending against the Soviets. I was involved in the acquisition and restoration of several Nike missiles, and including Guardian Park, which is a memorial to the Nike missilemen. The program starts with World War II ending and the Soviet bloc countries versus Western Europe and the United States. The first major incident was the Berlin Airlift, followed by the Korean War, which was never declared a war. But back at home, what was going on here as a country? There were many different things, including the space race and people having more income and buying more homes and expanding in the country. And in order to prepare for the event of a nuclear war, duck and cover drills were done in every classroom. The Cuban Missile Crisis was one of the incidents that was a major occurrence and made the United States very much on edge. That was around the same time period that fallout shelters became very popular, and people were building them in their own houses, and there were also public fallout shelters. To defend against the enemy, the first defense were anti-aircraft guns, and these were emplaced around every major U.S. city. Long-range radars were set up all around the country, especially in the northern border in Canada and Alaska, to make sure that they would know if Soviet airplanes were coming to attack. Surface-to-air missiles were the very first one of them was the Nike missile used by the United States Army. Another major missile of this time period was called the BOMARC missile, and that was run by the Air Force. The Nike missiles had 265 sites in the United States. They formed rings around every major U.S. city and locations of defense production and bases. In this image on the left, we can see the Nike missiles on their launchers, and on the right, we see the radar globes, which is what detected the enemy coming. Now, Vietnam started in 1959, but as the 60s wore on, more and more U.S. soldiers were going that way. So things like the Homeland Defense and Nike missiles more and more fell to the Air National Guard. The draft ended in 1973, creating an all-military of volunteers. Vietnam fell in 1975, and to replace the local missile systems like the Nike missiles, ICBMs were intercontinental ballistic missiles that could have shot directly to, say, the Soviet Union, or they could have come our way. So the Nike missile system became obsolete, and through the SALT Treaty with the Soviet Union, we had to get rid of them all by 74. The Cold War officially ended in 1991 with the end of the Soviet Union. So this is what the program entails. It's much more in depth, lasting between 30 and 45 minutes, and it can be catered to your organization or your location. If I was going to talk about the Baltimore, Washington defenses, we'd have a different talk than if we were going to talk about the New York, Philly defenses. So if this interests